Hey there, I'm Cahlen, and today on The Wizard Life I'm going to be talking about what I've been up to the last month or so. So as some of you know, I left my job a few months ago and I was traveling around kind of living in my truck in the southwest of the United States. And I was nearby a Zen Buddhist monastery which I had stayed at 15 years ago, and I decided, hey, might as well drop by and see how things are going and maybe see if it's something I want to take back up, like continue practicing from where I left off back 15 years ago. So let me just tell you a little bit about the story about way back then. So I was in college and I had been brought up Christian, and I kind of got disillusioned with that whole perspective on things and kind of went to another perspective, Buddhism, got really fascinated with that. And I decided to do a road trip back then, interesting enough, just kind of traveling around. And my sights got set on this monastery in New Mexico, and I decided to come here. And when I got here, I was so fascinated with everything that was going on, I decided that I wanted to become a monk. So I kind of committed to that. I committed to focusing on becoming a Zen Buddhist monk. So I was going to end up with a shaved head and all of that type of stuff. It turned out that due to, I have a little bit of a scoliosis due to one of my legs being a little bit longer than the other one, and that made it difficult for me to sit for the amount of time that we were often sitting and meditating, sometimes up to 18 hours a day. And so I just kind of realized that that's not something that I could do long term. So I went back home, and that's how I ended up. I got into the video game industry and I became a producer and all that stuff, which leads me up to here 15 years later. So I'll talk a little bit about the situation right now and what I'm thinking, but first let me just give you a tour of the monastery. So this is called the Zendo, which is where we do most of our meditation practice. People will sit on either side of the room on these cushions, cross-legged, like full lotus and stuff like that. Sometimes we'll also do chanting in here, and here's what that looks like. I see chanting as a way to get into a meditative state while also reminding yourself of important lessons. This is the room we usually do the chanting in. It's just the heater is broken at the moment and it's winter, so we stay in the Zendo for chanting. And this is what the Sutra Hall looks like from the outside. As you can see, the weather changes very quickly here. This is what it looked like yesterday, and it's sunny today all of a sudden. This is the hot springs, and I would say it's probably the main attraction for the monastery. A lot of people come here to visit these. We basically just pump hot water up from underground, and it's basically hot tub temperature. And there is a river right next to us with fish, and sometimes people like to go from the hot springs and jump in here. I'm not quite that brave. Another cool thing about the Zen Center is there is an organic garden, and they host woofers, which is just people who want to come help out on farms in exchange for room and board. You can see we have some saplings that will be planted soon. And we also have chickens, which provide us most of the eggs that we eat. Here's a look at the dining hall where we host our large groups, and the kitchen where all sorts of delicious meals are made, primarily vegetarian. And one of my favorite things about this place is that they heat all the buildings using the hot water from the hot springs. So as you can see, it's a pretty cool little place, and it's actually located in a cool area of New Mexico as well. It's on the side of an old volcano, which is where all that hot water comes from. There's still magma or lava flowing underneath the ground, not too far down there, which is heating the water. And it's also right on the edge of this little tiny mountain town called Jemez Springs, and there's like less than 250 people that live in this area. And so I can walk into town. It takes me like 2-3 minutes. I was just there picking up some compost for the chickens from the restaurant that's in town. And you know, people, I've only been here a month and people already recognize me and know who I am. So I really like that community aspect of this town, and also there's a community aspect to being in the Zen Center itself. I'm getting to know people that I had never met before, and I feel like that's something that's really been missing in my life. I don't know why I didn't find it elsewhere. I don't know, maybe people who are coming to a place like this are more open to forming those type of connections with people. But I'd say that that's the primary draw for me to this place when it comes to thinking long term. Is this someplace I want to stay? So they're basically offering me a daily director type position. So I'd be running the office, taking reservations, updating the website, sending out newsletters, that type of thing. And that sounds appealing to me. But at the same time, there's other things that I want to be doing which that doesn't really satisfy. So I'll probably talk about those other things in future videos because I actually have several choices out in front of me, but I'll leave that for the future. And I just want to kind of give a summary of what I see Zen Buddhism to be, and also I want you to keep in mind that I'm not a Zen Buddhist monk, and I didn't really practice for all that long, so I wouldn't take me too seriously when it comes to me explaining what I think about this. But in general, I think Zen Buddhism and Buddhism in general is about becoming aware of the fact that this is happening. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that this is happening. And for you, you have your own this. For me, it's that this is a talking to a camera. For you, this is watching a screen. And there's so much more to that. There's a river for me in the background. There's wind blowing through that's cool, and I can feel it on my hands. Basically the present moment. And I'm sure you've all heard about the importance of coming back to that. And it's almost cliche, I guess. But in my experience, it's actually really critical, and especially when it comes to relating to other people. If you're off in your head thinking about all these other things and worrying about what happened in the past and what might happen in the future, it's really hard to connect with people, and it's hard to connect with what I would call the joy of being, which I think is innate to existence itself. It can be forgotten, but it's always there. So that's the way I see it. I don't feel like I need to meditate for hours on end to see that. I've actually found I get closer to that through other types of practices. Some being I made a video about the kind of body awareness exercise that I do every morning, but also really the things that have helped me the most are sitting down with a mentor, someone who really deeply understands these type of things, and them kind of guiding you through a process of coming to realize this. And I think that can really, it's like a shortcut in my opinion. I think we all intuitively understand this, we just need someone to remind us. And well, it doesn't have to be someone. Sometimes just sitting for hours on end, for maybe years on end, will get you to remember. But I do think that there are faster paths. All right, so in the future, I'll make another video kind of talking about my options going forward and what I think about each of them. And then I suppose I'll probably tell you which one I choose after that. All right, so thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you next time.